Okay, so my name is Scotty Tregalis. Like Uncle Charles, I'm a real estate investor. I'm a wholesaler and also a cartel boss. If you guys are familiar with Investor Lift, it's the big dogs in wholesaling, right? And that's how we met. We met at his event last year in San Antonio. It was a great event. Looking forward to 2.0, which I think you just had an announcement on. So congrats on that. Hopefully it's in Vegas like we talked about last year. That way it's in my backyard. And I'm happy to help anything I can with that. I'm excited. You guys are in good hands, man. He's a great person. So I'm happy to be here, adding as much value as possible. Be ready to screenshot. If you're on a laptop, if you have a phone camera, that's fine. We'll have QR codes and stuff like that you can take a picture of. But if you can screenshot as well, I'm going to add as much value as I can in this Zoom so you can leave here and implement something, right? So my name is Sky Tregalis. I'm originally from Okla, so Kansas and Oklahoma. A couple years ago, I wanted to get out of the bipolar weather. So my fiance and I moved to Lake Havasu City, Arizona, where we thought we wanted to retire. And then I quickly realized I can't retire here. Everyone's retired. There's no hiring pool. So we moved to Las Vegas. We currently live in Las Vegas, and this is where we now own and operate multiple businesses. This business particularly is the very first one that I ever started. I was a plumber pipe fitter originally, and I wanted to get into real estate investing. I just didn't know how. And back in 2015, I was in a really bad motorcycle accident that put me out of work for over a year. I wasn't supposed to be able to walk for over a year. I'm blessed to be here, and I'm blessed for all the struggles that it put me through, because I don't think I would be here today if I didn't have to learn to overcome those struggles. But one of those struggles that resulted from this accident and not being able to work was my credit was destroyed, completely demolished. I had tens of thousands of medical collections, late payments, just everything, right? And that does not alter the end goal, the vision of wanting to become a real estate investor. I knew that's what I needed to do. So I was working with a group, doing some development, wanting to do multifamily development in Southern Texas. And they said, well, Scotty, let's repair your credit and start leveraging that. So I paid someone in the group. To repair my credit. By the way, this is where I'm originally from. Before I moved away, when I first started my business, I lost everything. This is where I lived and where I first started both my companies that are now, multi-seven-figure annual companies. This is where it all started. Well, I knew I needed to repair my credit, so I paid a guy to repair my credit. Come to find out, he wasn't doing anything for me. Okay. But again, that doesn't alter the end goal. The end goal is I wanted to invest into real estate, and I have to repair my credit. So I figured out how to do it myself. I have a funny screenshot here that I like to share with people. And this is literally what he said to me. So after I started figuring out how I can dispute my own credit and repair my own credit, I took action and I sent in my first round of disputes. And so I followed up with this guy and I asked, hey, how does your process work? Do you send out dispute letters? I got 3 reports back with a few of them each deleted after I sent 1 round. I'm about to send out round 2 unless something is being done on your end. And he said, if you really think what you're doing is the reason, you should open a company yourself. Here we are. I've helped hundreds of people, whether it be personal credit, business credit, credit stacking, and travel hacking. I've helped hundreds of people. So this message just goes to show that, the credit repair company kind of has a stigma of its own. And that's one of the reasons why I started my own, because I realized everyone needs it. And if you don't need it, someone right next to you who does, especially business owners. So after I repaired my own credit, I went from 534 to 751 in less than 2 months. All right. Then I started acquiring more primary trade lines, so credit cards. I was able to get a couple credit cards and I maxed those out, investing into a mentorship program. And now a friend of mine, Cody Sperber, another cartel boss. Uncle Charles, you know this guy. So my first wholesaling course was a $10,000 mentorship program with Cody Sperber. And in my first month, I did $60,000 on my first deal, followed up with two 10K deals. So I did $80,000 in assignments my very first month. But it was still a roller coaster ride, right? I'm still learning how this all credit stuff works. Funny story, 9 years ago yesterday, I put on Facebook, just got my first credit card. Who wants to go shopping? Please don't do that. Learn from my mistakes. That's what we're here for, right? So anyways, I invested into this mentorship program, and my wholesaling business exploded. Now I'm with the top 50 wholesalers in the country, a great inner circle like Uncle Charles here. And what I've done is partnered up with a lot of them to provide value to their following and their mentee students and even them themselves. So this right here is the Cartel Boss Summit trip. Every year, the cartel bosses have an annual trip somewhere in the world. And last year, I went to this trip and I flew first class. You can see here, it's a lay down seat. And when I was there, we're there to socialize and network and learn from each other, add value. And what I realized is nobody there traveled first class for free, leveraging credit card points. Okay. I was even hanging out with Ryan Pineda. I don't know if you know him, but I was hanging out with Ryan Pineda there in Punta Cana. We were in the hot tub and we were talking credit, and he pulled up his Amex account. It's like, Scotty, I have 650,000 Amex points. I typically just trade them for cash. What do I do with these? I said, well, you can take you and your family, fly first class for free, and stay in an overwater bungalow in Bali for a month for free if you'd like. And so it was at this event I realized, wow, these guys are making $250,000 a month in wholesaling, and nobody is leveraging credit. And if they are, they're doing it the wrong way. And that's when I decided, okay, this credit business that I have, it's really just, part-time. If a buddy needs it, we'll do it. This is when I created a 4-step program specifically for business owners or people wanting to start a business, scale a business, or buy a business. Okay. So this is what this program looks like. I know Uncle Charles covered a little bit of it. So this is the All-In Credit VIP program, okay? It's 4 steps. All 4 steps here are key to accomplishing the end goal. And the end goal is getting you guys multiple 6 figures in credit so you can start, scale, or buy a business. In order to accomplish that, we have to start first, the base foundation of personal credit. We're going to deep dive into your personal credit, analyze that to determine, are you qualified to go into Chase Bank and ask for a $100,000 credit card? If not, we're going to see if anything needs removed or deleted. Okay. If it needs deleted, we'll use the 5-day sweep, and I'll go over that in just a second. Step 2 is the business credit establishment. Step 3 is personal credit stacking. This is where you're accumulating these top tier credit cards. Step 4 is this is where you reap the reward of spending on these credit cards, marketing, fix and flips, Airbnb, short-term rentals, whatever the case may be. You're going to accumulate a lot of credit card points. This is where we actually help leverage those points to travel around the world for free. I'm just going to deep dive into each kind of program. And if you have any questions, drop them in the chat and we'll circle back because I want to answer as many questions as possible. That's where the value is. Okay, so we're going to deep dive into each program. The first is the personal credit. Okay, again, we're going to analyze your personal credit, but check this out. All of our programs are based on one business. So a lot of people, if they have one business, they're typically husband and wife, right? They're partners. So now we're not only doing one person's credit, we're doing 2 people's credit. If some businesses have 3 partners, we're going to cover all 3 personal credits. The reason why is because our program is based off of a company, not an individual. Okay, so one company, 3 partners, repair and establish these 3 people's credit. Okay, so the personal credit, again, we're doing the credit repair through the 5-day sweep, and then the credit establishment. So we're removing anything negative or anything that's holding your credit score down. And then we're beefing it up with either authorized user trade lines or primary trade lines, which is credit cards. Just going over the FCRA, the 5-day sweep a little bit more, because people are like, what the hell is a 5-day sweep? It's literally what it sounds like. We are sweeping your credit and you're getting results in less than 5 days. How we do that is we leverage the law FCRA 605B. This quote here is exactly what the law says. A consumer reporting agency shall block the reporting information in the file if the consumer identifies as information resulted from an alleged identity theft. The power of the law is in the verbiage alleged. It's not our job to prove that it's resulted from identity theft. The law states that they must remove and block it no later than 4 business days, hence the name 5-day sweep. Over here is just a little testimonial of someone removed some business credit inquiries in less than 5 days, shot a score up above 800s. So again, just because we removed negatives doesn't mean you have perfect credit. You have to have healthy and established credit. So we offer a lot of things like authorized user trade lines, and we'll also sort of credit stack within your personal credit. For example, if you have no primary trade lines over a $10,000 limit, it's our goal to get you there, because you can't go ask for a $100,000 limit business credit card if you don't have qualifiable personal credit first. So here, this is actually where I would suggest screenshotting this. This is a small lending company, and what they're doing is they're actually lending you money to buy a vehicle. But the difference here is they're not making sure that you're buying a vehicle. You know, if you go to the bank, you buy a vehicle, you have to send title and all that, right? They're not verifying that. So if you get approved for $50,000, you can use this $50,000 for whatever you want, right? And it does report to your personal credit, so it helps establish your personal credit a little bit more. This is just one of the tools that we have in our pocket to help establish credit, ideally get you above 750 plus, okay? The second program is business credit. Now, we work on the business credit at the same time as personal, okay? We're gonna be repairing, we're gonna be establishing your personal credit, and at the same time, we're gonna be establishing your business credit, all right? On average, both take around less than 3 months, but typically, you can get the business credit established if you're very aggressive in less than 45 days. And what I mean by that is adding trade lines and vendors that report to your business credit without using your personal credit. The whole point of this program is to establish credibility around your business, whether it be a professional address, a phone number that's listed with the 411, and making sure that everything is aligned with the Secretary of State, the IRS, the business credit bureaus, and all the vendors and banks that you have open or that you plan on applying for, right? And that's where my team helps you, making sure that everything is aligned before you move on to a next step or making mistakes, or definitely before applying for anything. Right? That's what this program is solely focused on, establishing credit that you do not even have to use your personal credit. And that's why we focus on these simultaneously, right? At the same exact time. Now, the third program, this is the end goal. This is the end result. This is where we're looking to get as much capital as possible, okay? This is our credit stacking program. It's a tailor-made for you, okay? This is not a plug and play educational course, okay? We do not have videos that are going to teach you how to do this. We created this program for high-level entrepreneurs, for people wanting to start or scale a business. We know, as a business owner, I know that you do not have time to learn everything, right? Most of our clients say, Scott, I don't want to learn this. I don't care. I just want the results. I just want you guys to tell me exactly what to do, how to do, and when to do it, and why. So that's exactly what this is. This entire program is custom-made, tailored to the person and their business and their goals. Okay, so our credit stacking program, this is where we analyze your personal credit and your business credit, and we're leveraging the two to start going after 0% interest credit. On average, we're seeing about $250K per client. Okay, so on top of the credit stacking, it's really important to establish bank relationships, okay? And in those banks, we're gonna show a little bit of liquidity, And then we're going to be applying for credit through a business relationship manager versus just going online. All right, if you apply online, you're just getting hit with a random algorithm. You're just another person applying online, even if you do have good personal and business credit. But the difference from establishing a relationship with these banks, going in and applying through a relationship manager, is you get to request your limits. That's something that a lot of people do not know. You actually get to request your credit card limits. And in order to be able to get approved for $50 to $80 to $100,000, you have to be very extremely qualified and have a relationship with that bank. That's something that we do in process 1, personal credit, and 2, business credit. So this is just a piece of my last credit stacking sequence a few months ago. On average, we do about 2 to 4 sequences a year, right? So every 3 months, we're going to have a big list of credit cards that we're going to go after and apply for each client. On this last one, just for some credibility, I have over $1 million in business credit. Got a big old stack here, and I don't even know where my wallet's at, but I had just under $1 million in available credit before even touching Amex. And this last one, the top one here, this is a Chase Inc. Unlimited card. This is the highest limit Chase has ever given to a 0% interest card, is $80,000. That was me 2 months ago. On top of that, with Amex, we go after charge cards to build a relationship, and then we go after credit cards. Right? So this is something that we help people, and we define each card, and we go after specific cards based on, 1, the business owner or owners, and the business, what you're going to be spending on, so on and so forth. The 4th program, it's the fun stuff, the travel hacking. All right, now this is where we are helping you guys leverage your points. We all know, like, if you have a Chase or an Amex or Capital One, that you have, sign up bonuses, right? Introductory point bonuses, right? I know the 3 Amex cards that I got a few months ago, after spending maybe $15,000 on this card, $15,000 on the gold, and $5,000 on this one, I got like 320,000 Amex points by just the sign up bonuses, not including the daily spend. And that I'm going to New Zealand for a week and Fiji for a week for free. So with this program, this isn't an educational one. This is a service that we are here to service business owners. So basically with our program, what you're doing is, if you have points accumulated, you basically put in a travel request, okay? And basically you say, okay, I've got Chase and I've got Amex. I've got 400,000 points on Chase and I have 200,000 points on Amex. My wife and I want to go to Bali for a week, right? We want to fly first class. So you put in a travel request and we blueprint that out for you, right? We tell you exactly, all right, what dates are you going? Are you flexible? What airlines do you prefer? Where are you flying out of? Where's your closest, airport hub? I mean, Houston, okay, from Houston to Indonesia down to Bali, whatever, right? We map that out for you. And then we help you transfer those points out of your Chase and Amex portal over to the transfer partners. And we help you book those, leveraging your points to travel for free. But if you are someone who wants to learn how to travel hack yourself, I've partnered up with my good friends, Tommy and Eli. Okay. Follow them on Instagram right here. This is Tommy, great travel hacker, my mentor, and my partner. So these are the guys who help us build out these blueprints with you and for you. Okay. And I just want to kind of I put these images up just to kind of give you a mental image of what you can get out of your points. This first class, the one far to the left, it's a $13,500 flight. He booked this with 87,000 points. Most sign-up bonuses are minimum 80,000. The Emirates first class, $18,000 flight, 108,000 points. I got that with one of my Amex cards. One Amex card was 160. ANA, so that's like Japan, $17,000 flight, 87,000 points. Japan Airlines, again, 12,000 for 70 200,000 points. Now, the reason why this is important is because most people, they accumulate a crap ton of points in their, just say, Chase portal. And then they say, okay, hey, I've got, 200,000 points, but I'm booking a flight to Chicago and it's going to take 200,000 points. And I want to fly first class, so it's a $2,000 flight. Well, that's all. You're going to lose all your points, right? And the reason why is unless you transfer those are just a 1-to-1 ratio. So 1 penny per 1 point. And you see down here, there's ratios of the value if you are able to transfer these and search for the right flights to get you where you want to go, right? There's so much more value, 8x, 10x, and 11x. Right, so that you're looking at almost 10 cents all the way up to $1 per point, depending on airline offers, et cetera, et cetera. Right here is hotels. We've looked at our flights. What about stays? Here, Maldives, $28,000 7-night stay booked with 600,000 Hilton points. Okay, that's a 9x point value. Bora Bora, 10,255 night stay, 356 Hilton points, 6x standard. All right, Al Maha Resort. This is in Dubai. This 112,000 points, Marriott points. Now, remember, you do not have to have a Hilton credit card or a Marriott credit card. These are transfer partners, right? If you have a Chase, you have an Amex, you have Capital One, you're able to transfer those out to Marriott, or out to Hilton. And then from Hilton, you now have those points. You've got 356,000 Hilton points within the Hilton program. And that's how you buy, you book these and get the 5 to 10x value. Okay. Bora Bora here, $4,600 2-night stay, 140,000 points. So these are some good friends of mine. I highly suggest if you want to learn how to travel hack, these are the guys to follow and reach out, let them know I sent you. But if you're too busy to learn this is what we do for you within our All-In Credit VIP program. Okay, now I like to add a lot of value, and I'm going to go through this pretty quick so I can answer as many questions as possible. There's quite a few people on here. I love Chick-fil-A, so I'm going to share some Chick-fil-A free nuggets. All right, so when credit stacking, we have a lot of people say, hey, I have an 800 credit score and I already have business credit. I don't need you, but where do I start with credit stacking? Well, here's some nuggets for you. You want to start with the top tier banks first because they're the most strict. They have underwritten rules that they don't tell the public. Okay, this is something that we help you with. You want to go after top tier banks first. These are Chase, US Bank, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Amex. All right. Be careful with the 5 to 24 rule with Chase Bank. But here's a little nugget for you as well. Some Chick-fil-A sauce. Business credit cards do not count towards that 5 to 24 rule. Only personal accounts. So if you've opened up 5 personal credit card accounts or revolving accounts in the past 24 months, you're going to automatically get denied. Okay. Now, typically in our first sequence, we're going to go after these top tier banks. Now, depending on where you sit with inquiries and what region you're in, we'll go after mid-tier banks. Okay. Mid-tier banks are like Citizens Bank, Umpqua, FNBO, and partner cards, right? I know we talked about Hilton and Marriott partner cards. You can find those through Chase and Amex, right? Those are partner cards. They give very high limits, but they're never 0% interest, right? So they're not, as business owners, they're not our go-to, okay? I want to go after 0% interest to alleviate that risk of having to spend $20,000 a month in marketing. Do I have to pay $20,000 off that next month, or do I have to pay 27% interest? Well, no, that's why we go after 0% interest cards. These partner cards are what we go after when you're starting to earn status, when you want to travel more, okay? Then the most important, the most value is your local banks, and credit unions. And we go after those last because they're not as strict, right? And they're great relationship banks. So top tier 1 and local banks, these both require relationships, maybe opening up a bank account, a savings account, showing you have a little bit of liquidity, right? This is where you have to establish a relationship in order to, get the most out of it. Now, I know as a real estate investor and Uncle Charles, I don't know if everyone here is wholesaling, real estate investors, doing any sort of marketing as far as any business at all, right? Businesses are just marketing. You have to be a marketing expert, right? In order to be successful in business. So these are the best credit cards for ad spend. So Google Ads, PPC, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, everything, ad spend. All right, number one is the Chase Inc. Preferred Business Card. You get 3x points on the first 150K in spend. This is about equivalent to, let me see here. So with the point value, you get around 550,000 Chase points. So with the sign up bonus, plus, ad spend, this will be about 550,000 Chase points a year. Tip, before you go out and apply, have a 720 plus credit score, have an open personal and business checking account, okay? And I believe Zach should be dropping a link in the chat to be able to apply for this card specifically. But guys, do not apply if you do not fit this tip criteria, okay? Now, one of the reasons, give you a little insider, applying through this link is going to be very beneficial. Jumping online and applying for a credit card, you're getting hit by a random algorithm, okay? You're just a random person. Applying through this link is basically saying, hey, Scotty referred me to Chase Inc. and this card specifically. And because I have a very established relationship with Chase Bank, it actually helps you get approved with higher limits and better odds, okay? And then obviously the top tier is going into Chase Bank, sitting down with your relationship manager, shaking hands, introducing yourself, talking about your business, talking about your goals, and applying through a relationship manager. But if you fit these criteria on the tip, feel free. All right, second card is the Amex Gold. Okay, you get 4x points on the first 150K in ad spend. This is equivalent to 600,000 Amex points, give or take, okay? Tip, 720 personal credit score. Pay it off every month to increase the spending power / revolving limits. Now, some of you may have Amex Platinum and Amex Gold. These are not credit cards. These are charge cards. The difference between a charge card and a credit card is on a charge card, whatever you spend, you have to pay off next month or else you're going to get hit with interest, okay? Credit cards, you're allowed to roll over that balance and pay a minimum payment, which is typically just 1% of the balance, of the statement balance. But with Amex and these charge cards, there's actually a spending power, okay? And I could actually go back to the slides and show you my screenshot of my Amex approvals. I have no preset spending limit. So that means I'm allowed to spend however much I want on these credit cards. Some people will have a spending limit, especially when you're just starting your relationship with Amex. Often 10,000, 20,000. What that is you're allowed to carry that balance every month like it's a credit card. And the way to increase that in Amex is A1 with this is you spend as much as possible responsibly and pay it off every single month or make 2 large payments a month. Okay, what this is going to tell them internally is, Charles is spending a lot of money, but he's paying it off. We need to increase his spending power, right? And that's why most business owners, Amex, they say, yes, it's unlimited. It's unlimited because they've done this process, whether it be knowingly or not, they spent a lot of money and pay it off responsibly. Okay, now the third card, I'm never going to suggest to anybody. We in our program do not advise to get a Capital One. The reason why is because Capital One, when you go to apply for it, it pulls from all 3 credit bureaus. So that means if I want to get a Capital One card, I'm going to get hit with a hard inquiry on all 3 bureaus, okay? And 2, they don't give very high limits to start off with. My Spark, I have this little green card right there. I've had it for years and I don't spend much money on it because I'll get to that. But the credit limit's only 9,500. It's like, as a business owner, what can I do with that? But the reason why I don't use it is because Capital One business cards report the balance to your personal credit. So it's going to affect your personal credit utilization. Your utilization is 30% of your overall personal credit scoring factor, right? So if you're above 30% of your overall available limit on your personal, it's going to drop you 50 to 100 points by just being over 30%, right? Meaning I have a $10,000 limit. If I spend over 3,000 and let it report, it's going to hurt me real bad and punish me. And now what that does, which I don't want for any of you, is it's going to put a limit on what you can get approved for next, right? And our job is to get you approved for as much as possible. If you're using a Capital One, we can't because your credit's destroyed, because utilization, so on and so forth. So we never advise anyone to get one. But with AdSpin, if you're willing to pay this off every single month and never let the balance report to your personal credit, it's probably the best card for AdSpin because you get 5x points unlimited, but it's cash back. Okay. Tip: 680 plus personal credit score and pay it off before the statement date so balance does not report to personal credit. So here are a couple mid-tier banks. Some more nuggets here. Okay, screenshot this, take a picture. These are banks that I would comfortably say you can go out and apply for right now. And here's why. So Citizens Bank, depending on what region you're in, it's a soft credit check regardless, okay? So if you get approved or denied, it is not going to hurt you. So go in, apply. If you get denied, it's not going to hurt you. No hard credit check, okay? On average, I'm seeing limits from $35,000 to $50,000, which is insane for a soft credit check. And it's 0% interest for 12 months. And they don't require docs for the credit card. Now, here's where the big banger is. They also offer a line of credit. Now, this is where I do advise people to, after you get approved for the credit card, do a little bit of manufactured spending, spend some, pay it off, spend some, pay it off, and then go back in and say, hey, I'm doing good with your credit card. We know each other now. We trust each other. I'd like to apply for your line of credit. Do that within 90 days of getting approved, or at least applying for the credit card. And it's another soft pool. So it's not going to affect you if you get approved or denied, or if you apply. On average, I'm seeing $50,000 to $200,000 limits. Okay, 7% interest. Docs are required, but very minimal, like bank statements. Show that you are the owner. You do have rights to be able to apply for a line of credit with this business. And I think the last person that applied 2 days ago, the only requirement they had was, hey, connect your bank account. Right? Show 3 bank statements, something like that, right? Just show that you're a little liquid. Umpqua Bank is another one. If you haven't heard of it, it's good. They pull from Equifax though, okay? They do check your credit to make sure that, before applying, check your credit, make sure you have less than 4 inquiries on Equifax. You don't even have to worry about TransUnion or Experian. They only pull from Equifax. And this is kind of something, this is related to credit stacking, right? What card do I pull from? Let's just say you have 10 inquiries on TransUnion. We're not going to apply for any credit card or bank that pulls from TransUnion. So we have thousands of data points and credit cards. We've went in and filtered every single state in the entire country on what bank has what 0% interest credit cards and what bureaus they pull from, right? So if you're in Texas, I have a list of credit cards. Okay, you've got 10 inquiries on TransUnion. We're going to go file these down. We've got 5 banks that pull from Experian and 10 banks that pull from Equifax. These are the ones we're going to go after, right? So Equifax with Umpqua, limits are $20,000 to $50,000 on average, and it's 0% interest for 20 months. Super valuable. People are getting approved left and right. So, got this screen all over the place. So another thing to help establish personal credit is we offer coaching financing, right? A coaching loan. You can get approved all the way up to 50K, right? Rates start at 5.99, terms are 24 to 60 months. There's zero prepayment penalty. So this is what a lot of people are kind of gearing towards to pay for our program. And that is the one stipulation. If you get approved for this loan, which is a soft credit check, okay, you can go in, you can apply. You're going to get a big list of all the limits that you're approved for, whether you're approved or denied, the monthly payments, the interest rate, everything. You get to go in and select which one that you want to go with, that you want to, which loan that you accept. On top of that, let's just say it's a $50,000 limit, and you go with our all-in credit VIP program. You pay us for the program plus loan financing fees, and you get to pocket the rest, right? So it's not a hard credit check, and those payments report to your personal credit. So it helps establish your personal credit more, also while working with us, and puts cash in your pocket. Please follow me on Instagram. Okay, I'm putting out a lot of content now. I am a go giver. I try to add as much value as possible through my reels and through my social media. And as soon as we're friends on social media, we're friends, right? That is where I go to offer holiday discounts, specials, anything like that, right? You can always DM me for help. Check out my reels. Please follow me on Instagram. Let's be friends. So now I just kind of want to go over the pricing for our programs. All right. So all-in credit VIP, I want to work backwards. All right. This is this top one right here. All-in credit VIP, done for you. These, I work with a lot of cartel bosses, okay, like Charles, Robert Winsley. These are all clients of mine. They are too busy to learn how to do this. They'd rather just pay to play and get the results. The Done For You program is $20,000. We work with you for 2 years, okay? You have access to us and my team for 2 years. After that, it's a $6,000 a year annual subscription. We are building out a SaaS platform. It's one of a kind. There isn't something like this all-in program does not exist. And there's also not a technology behind it with algorithms answering all these questions for us. Does not exist yet. We are working on that. Every single one of my clients will get access to that for free, right? So if you got started today, you will never pay an annual subscription. All right. Now, continuing down the Done For You, each program is $5,000 each. All right. Jumping over to the Done With You, we'll start at the bottom with personal credit here. Personal credit, remember, is the 5-day sweep repair and establishment. Done With You, $2,500, Done For You, $5K. Same with the business credit. Done With You, Done For You. Okay. These options do not have Done With You. These are primarily Done For You services. But the benefit of having one is having all. In order to accomplish this, these 3 steps are required first, right? In order to accomplish credit stacking, these 2 steps are required first, okay? And that's why we made this very incentivizing to put all 4 programs into one. With Charles, I know we talked, I wanted to add as much value as possible. Our price is typically $15,000, the Done With You. So we take $5,000 off. With Alliance, we're offering an extra $5,000 off. So that's $10,000. The only stipulation to that is that you schedule a call with us. I want to learn more about you, your business, and your goals, what your average spend is. And what we would do is really a free consultation. We're walking through exactly what we would do and how we would help you, okay? This offer lasts 1 week from today, so next Wednesday. So if you can, book a call on a calendar. Advice is free, okay? I wanna give you an example. I have someone who says, I have an 800 credit score. I don't need this. Okay, great. No, you don't. But when it comes to business credit, he needs that. Okay, well, here you go. Let's get started there and then move on to credit stacking. Now, come to find out, after we credit stack, you're gonna accumulate a lot of inquiries on your personal credit. What is it that we have to do? when we have a lot of inquiries. We have to circle back to personal credit and remove those inquiries before we can start our second sequencing credit stacking. Holy shit, what is going on? Oh, my dialer. See that, Charles? We're trying to make some calls, telling me to get on the phone. Okay, so there is, one thing, I do not do any marketing, okay? This business is straight word of mouth, okay? I have a circle of a lot of high-level entrepreneurs that I deal with. It's very important that my integrity and my values stay true. We cannot help everyone, okay? This is a very detailed, tailor-made program for you and your business. There's no way I can service 100 to 1,000 people a month until that SaaS platform is built out, right? But for those people who would rather just learn everything and do it themselves, I created the Master of Credit course. This is just simply an ebook with all 9 of my ebooks consolidated into one. Check this out. If you just need personal credit repair and you want to do the 5-day sweep, you guys saw the 5-day sweep price. I included that in this ebook, okay? Step-by-step guide with hyperlinks in this ebook that's going to take you to the website that you need to go to. I dumbed it down so a teenager can do it. And also the 24-hour inquiry removal. If you need to remove inquiries from Experian, we have a sales script and a process blueprint inside this ebook. It also goes over, establishing personal credit, goes over establishing business credit, and there's even trade lines that you can get approved for using only your business credit, right? I tried to add as much value in these ebooks as possible because I know I can't help everyone in our service, so I provided this. Take a picture of this or screenshot it. This is where you can schedule a call with me. You will be talking to me, okay? I do not have a sales team. Like I said, my name, my brand, I hold true, right? I surround myself with high-level people, very respectable, like Uncle Charles, right? He's referring you to me, so I am who you are going to talk to, okay? So schedule a consultation. It's 100% free. If I can't help you, great. Hopefully I can add some value to you and vice versa. We're also going to drop a link in the chat. If you're on your phone or something like that, there's going to be a link in the chat. Save it, download it. So from here, I just want to open up questions. Charles, if you want to take over, I'm happy to answer as many questions as possible.
Brother, you're doing fantastic. So I'm going to say something like, guys, I am real careful. Michael and I are real careful about bringing anybody into alliance, especially when it comes to money, guys. But here's the thing, man, not everything is free in this world. So you guys see me share a lot of information with you because you're here, you're rocking with us. Some of us are doing business with us. I've closed deal with some of you guys. I got contracts with some of you guys. It's our, we want to give you as much as we can. Now, some of you guys are in our mentorship, and it's a little bit different because we give you even more stuff. I'm always very careful to bring in people here. You know, I brought some attorneys, some guys that are getting it big. And look, at the end of the day, I brought Scotty in. I've been trying to get him for a year. Okay, before I even met him at Wholesale Live, because I knew he was rocking with some big guys, man. And look, I know a lot of credit guys. But it's up to you. If you need something, if you need this type of service, you need this type of help. If you see the benefits, then you'll jump on them. And if you don't, it's all good. But I'm gonna allow Scotty to continue. I'm massively impressed. I know a lot of this stuff. He's helped me with some stuff. And I just want to continue to do more because guys in business, I can't mention names, but let me put it this way. I know some big guys. As much money as they make, they still spend a lot of money on travel hacking. They still spend money on business building. They trust me, guys. I mean, even I'm not gonna say his name, but we all know who the biggest apartment guy is in the nation, and he deals with credit all day long. So take it away, Scotty. Keep going, man.
Yeah,
We're
man.
here.
I've got 4 clients, all worth over $1 billion each. Right? Credit, the industry is kind of has a name of its own. And you guys saw the screenshot. This is one of the reasons why I started this, right? And being a business owner, the only reason why I am where I am today is because I was able to leverage credit. I kind of put it like this: what's faster? What's faster to get? Access to $250,000 in credit, or saving up $250,000? I think I was making $12.50 before I started my first business. There's no way in hell I would ever have been able to save $50,000 or $250,000 to start or scale or buy a business, right? So credit's the fast way. It's not like a cheat, right? We do everything the right way. There's other companies out there that do like credit stacking, more so of educational, right? And if you want to learn this while walking down this process together, that's our Done With You program, right? We don't have a program. We're just going to, oh, hey, thanks for paying. Here's your login. Hope you would enjoy the videos. No, we're doing it with you, informing you what we're doing, why we're doing, how we're doing it. So yeah, but no, definitely, if you guys have any questions, whether it's, personal, business, credit stacking, travel hacking, literally anything. I know we've got some time, so I'm happy to answer anything here. If you don't feel comfortable here, just schedule a call with me. Like, let's chat.
Hey, Scotty, I have a question for you. My name is Roger. How you doing, buddy? Good presentation.
Thanks, Raj.
Good. Hey, listen, good. Hey, so the question I have is this. So when you talk about business credit, that's great. But what about like how established do these businesses have to have? So let's just say, for hypothetically, I started an LLC in, Texas or, Wyoming or whatever. How long does that business have to be established before I can say, hey, I need credit now to get my business off the ground, or to buy materials, or to buy, whatever I need to do? Because how long does that, how long does that have to be?
Great question. So check this out. No matter how new or old, it does not matter. The process that we go through is literally made to establish credit the right way for any business, right? This is what happens most of the time. People are like, hey, Scotty, I just started an LLC. Now I want to get started in your program. Like, damn, you should start with my program before starting your LLC. Because what my program does is it ensures that everything was structured correctly, right? Whether it be your address, right? Is it your mom's basement, or me? Is it my trailer house out in the middle of BFE, Kansas? Because it was, right? It wasn't until I realized, oh shit, I have to have everything correctly. I changed my address maybe 4 times, right? And if that's the case, we go back and we get virtual addresses, making sure everything's aligned. So it doesn't matter how old or new, but the average from establishing business credit is about 3 months, okay? So let's dive into that process a little bit more. Again, doesn't matter the age of the business. You're establishing fundability or credibility with your business, okay? And then opening up accounts with Dun & Bradstreet, Experian, and Equifax. So Experian and Equifax actually do have business credit sites. A lot of people don't know that. They just hear of Dun & Bradstreet, right? So you're going to get established with all 3, and then you're going to start applying for funding, small tier funding like net 30s, 60s, 90s. You're guaranteed to get approved for these as long as you're structured correctly. Now, once you have 3, I advise all my clients to have minimum 5 trade lines reporting on all 3 bureaus. Once you have 5, it's off to the races in credit stacking. I've done this so much that I can get through step 1 and 2 in one day and apply for 5 trade lines all in one day, as long as we don't have to go back and correct anything, right? So it could be as simple as a week or a couple weeks or one day, depending on if we have to correct anything. Does that make sense? But also, go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, so let's just say business, whatever I may have, and are they, even though it's an LLC or corporation, are they still being like, well, who's the person that's going to be signing or paying back? We got to check your credit. Do they do that too? Like, not only we checking, it's a new business, so we got to make sure that whoever's in their credit too.
So not in the business credit program. So the program itself is separate from credit stacking. Now, credit stacking is where the banks will be asking for both personal and business credit. Okay. And the business credit program itself, if you wanted to single it out, keep it separate, you will not use your personal credit at all whatsoever. Right. And that's the whole point of going through the program in tiers, because you're establishing credit, you're becoming more and more credible, all the way up to the point to where my very first business credit client, friend of mine, he moved to Tulsa, Oklahoma, started a HVAC company, was doing very well for himself. And he wanted to reward himself by going out and buying a brand new Ford Raptor. And he got denied. His personal credit wasn't up to par. So he called in his dad to co-sign, still got denied. He had already been through my program for about 2.5 months, established business credit. I said, Paul, your business is doing phenomenal. You have established credit. Apply using your EIN. Your business is more credible than you and makes way more money than you. Apply using your EIN. He got approved the same day for $0 down and 2% interest, just using his EIN. So Ford Motors is actually one of the vendors that you can apply for without using your personal credit at all.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Sure. Thanks for the question, Roger.
Who else
Hey,
has
Scott.
questions? Anybody else have any questions? This is
I have a question, Scotty.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for everything, your time. Yeah, actually have a credit, like a collection fee on my credit right now. And it's from an old apartment. Basically, they charge me like a cleaning fee I never paid. I was working with the credit company to get it removed, but for some reason they couldn't remove it. I was just gonna pay it off. It's like $130, but I know it's like charging every month, basically, or reporting every month. So do you think I should just pay it off in like the whole thing, or like, I know once I pay it off, they'll basically report it that it paid to the bureau?
Yeah. So no, don't pay that. First of all, I'm never going to advise anyone to not pay their bills, but once it hits a collection account, don't pay it. Right. That's a third party. And it kind of sucks saying this because Uncle Charles, one of our good friends, another cartel boss, owns a collection company. Check this out. He's also a partner of mine, an affiliate. So he owns a collection company. So we understand the laws that have to go with it. You do not owe that company. You do not owe that, right? So where's the paperwork? Where's the documents that you signed with that collection company in order for them to have your debt? You do not owe them, right? So, and someone sold that debt without permission, right? This is where the 5-day sweep would come into play. Just removing that completely and blocking that account. So therefore it won't ever report again. Collection agencies, what they do is they're going to hound you. They pay, 10 cents on the dollar for your debt, and they're going to hound you to pay that and pay that. And there's statute of limitations. I think in Texas, it might be like 5 years. So that can't be reporting on your credit for longer than 5 years. But what'll happen is anytime you make a payment, that 5 years starts over, right? If that 5 years is completely over, what they'll do is sell that debt to another company, which happens all the freaking time. Then they're hounding you for 5 years. Guess what? That's illegal. Very illegal. It's past the statute of limitations. So that's stuff like super easy to spot out. And we just wipe that out with the 5-day sweep, leveraging the law to protect us, you and I, the consumers. But also paying it off does not benefit you at all. All it does is report a zero balance. But that balance within that collection isn't what determines your score. The fact that it's a collection account entirely is what's dropping your score. So paying it doesn't do anything. You got to wipe it the hell off completely for it to help you.
Okay. Yeah, because I've just been needing to pay it, but I'm like, if I pay it, then it's still going to be on there.
Yeah, don't pay it, my man. I mean, it's still going to be reporting. It might boost up maybe a few points just because it's at a zero balance. But unfortunately, as soon as you pay that 5-year statute of limitations is going to start over. And yeah, it's better just to remove it completely, and honestly way faster.
Thank you,
Hey there,
Scotty.
hi Scotty, if you can hear me.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for everything. I do have a question in regard to the teenagers or anybody who's under 18. They just been added to my credits, my some, stuff that so they can start building a credit. What advice would you give to the young teenagers and their mother?
I love that. I love that you did that for them. I wish my parents did. If we're friends on TikTok, you might be able to find one of my reels that actually I gave advice to parents on how to have your, kid have established credit by the time they graduate high school. That way they're going out and they're paying for their own college, they're getting their own vehicle, they're applying for their own apartment, right? So what you did is great. My advice to you, well, did you give them an actual credit card to be able to use, or did you just add
Yes.
them? You did? Okay.
Right now they under kind of as a minors, and they still bills comes to all three of us. They don't have a separate. They do have separate different card numbers, so they're tracking their number. They're paying out of their savings or their checking accounts. But it's very kind of something. I keep calling every month to the bank and say, hey, can you actually send a statement to them under their name? And it's kind of keep reversing back to me as a like a primary holder. So it's kind of being questionable still.
Yeah, so what you're doing for them is great. As far as sending them a statement, that's something you'd have to take up with them. But you being the primary account holder, 100% of the responsibility falls on you.
Yes.
So I would just, of course, it sounds like you're doing amazing. Keep going in every month. Don't check the balance when the payment date is due. Check the statement balance. Okay. The statement balance is going to tell you what's what you owe. And if you allow that to be over 30% of your overall availability. So let's just say let's use easy numbers here, $10,000 in overall, and it's between 5 credit cards, hypothetically talking, right? And they spend $3,500 and they allow that to report, then what that's going to do, it's going to hurt your credit and it's going to hurt their credit as well, because that utilization is above 30%. So it's really important to make sure that the statement balance is less than 30% of your overall personal credit availability. That's the best advice I have. And also never be late, right? So if anybody has any credit cards at all, first thing you do, go in there, log in and set up automatic payments for the minimum amount due, right? And if you don't know what that is, it's always 1% of the statement balance.
Okay, well, thank you. Anything else you can help me out with these teenagers?
Well, hopefully they have established credit by being an authorized user on your account. So it's good to have a good mixture, right? If they have any vehicles or anything like that, or go to get a vehicle, it's likely they would get approved. But if you do this, if you're setting up their credit profiles now, they're establishing credit, hopefully you never have to co-sign. I wouldn't ever co-sign, because then of course you're liable as well. My advice to them would be, having a good mixture of types of credit. Right now they have a revolving. Next, as soon as they turn 18, go out and apply for their own credit card, right? Because authorized user trade lines can only do so much. It gets them a little bit of establishment, but now they need to go off and get their own account, right? It's just going to give them a little bit more credibility. And remember, those baseline guidelines keep always on time, keep it below 30%. Tell them to maintain that, and they should have a fat stack like this within just a couple of years. And then from there, a vehicle, and then installment loans, and then mortgage eventually, right? So it's good having a good mixture of types of credit.
Thank you so much.
Of course. I'm an open book, guys, so just hit me with questions.
Scotty, one more question for you. Sorry. Hey,
Yeah.
you just mentioned something, when something hits your credit report as far as a negative, like collection or non-payment, whatever, how long did you say it stays on your credit for?
So it varies by state, right? And there's a statute of limitation. I believe, where are you in? Are you in Texas?
Well, well, it happened in California, but I'm in Texas now.
Okay, so yeah, if you California, maybe. I'm not sure about California. So each state, it varies, but it varies in between 5 to 8 years, depending on the state.
Okay. Now, was there something that that said that medical debts that they can't be used against you anymore?
Guys, this is a home run question right here. Home run question. As of this year, medical collections will no longer be reporting to your personal credit. Okay. And I believe as July, I think in July, they're going to be removing them. So great question. Medical collections will no longer be reported.
Does that include dental?
Yeah, medical. Yep. Mhm.
No, medical and dental.
Yes, yes. Dental falls under medical. Yeah. Mhm.
Cool. Got it.
Great question.
Yeah, that was a good.
Hey, Scott, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Question, now, let's say you qualify or you get approved for a $50,000 credit card or so on. Can you use that your card to pay off your personal debt?
Yes, 100%. So
Okay.
we're going to deep dive in. Great question. This is actually something that I help my clients with. Okay, think about it. You can't pay for everything on a credit card. But if you have a $50,000 credit card and it's 0% interest, how can I fully utilize this? Okay, if you guys want to put a down payment on a house or pay some other debts that you can't pay with a credit card, how do I turn $50,000 of credit into cash? Well, we don't do a cash advance because then you're limited. You might get, $500, $2,000 available for a cash advance, and then you're paying 27% interest. We help our clients liquidate your credit limits. So that means turning $50,000 of credit into $50,000 cash in your bank. Remember, 95% of my clients are real estate investors. So the program was built specifically for people who need cash, right? And if I can get you $250,000 in credit and turn a majority of that into cash to do whatever you want with, guys, I use credit for everything. I pay my employees on credit. I buy houses in credit, Airbnbs, fix and flips, right? Liquidate a credit card. Now that cash is in my bank, I'll wire that to the title company. There's my down payment on my hard money loan. Now I'm using another credit card to fund all my rehab. Home Depot, Lowe's, lines of credit. In the business credit, you can get access to that. I had one client get a $100,000 line of credit from Lowe's in our business credit program. Right, so we're leveraging credit for everything. So great question. We can actually turn credit into cash. It's through liquidation partners. Okay, and if you own multiple businesses, you can actually do this for yourself. Okay, typically most liquidation partners, they'll charge 5 to 6%. So they're making a couple percent after processing fees. So what that looks like is, I've got a credit card, got business A and business B. I'm going to use me for an example. So this card right here is an $88,500 limit card. I need $50,000 because Uncle Charles and I are going to partner up on an Airbnb. Okay. Charles says, send me 50 grand. I said, yes, sir. Do you have a merchant account? No. Okay, that's okay. I do, right? Because I have business A and business B. So business A is going to charge business B $50,000. Now business B has $50,000 cash in the bank. Now I can wire that to whatever I want. credit to cash. Guys, you want to be very, very careful with this though. There's a reason why we help you, because merchants like PayPal, Stripe, what are some other, Square, right? If you have too much activity unknown, they're just going to hold your money and block your account. So we have liquidation partners, people who put millions of dollars through their merchant every month. So if we charge $50,000 and refund it, it's really not that suspicious, right? So be careful. And also, if you have a Chase credit card and you use Chase Bank, do not liquidate your Chase credit card and put it in your Chase Bank, please.
Okay.
Wow. Okay. Cool. Hey, Scotty. I got a couple of questions. Just to piggyback about we just left off on, right? I'm somewhat familiar with what you're talking about with the process. When you say the liquidated partners, are you talking about plastic, like institutions like that? Because we did that, kind of like took cards and liquidated through plastic. And when we made ourselves some invoices, we just kind of used two different LLCs, right? But the hiccup I came across is the Amex, right? They wanted a little bit more proof, right? So I want to touch on that. But do you have more, or do you know more of other people than just plastic?
We don't use plastic. We do. So you're right. Plastic, everyone, if you want to do it on a mid-tier, small tier basis, you can, right? Plastic. Through us, we have actual partners, okay? What I mean by partners is friends of Charles and I, way above our pay grade, who do millions a month. So charging their processing and then them wiring us back money and then making a couple % on it. That's what I mean by partners, right? So it's a perk of being in our circle, being a client of ours, helping you liquidate those credit cards. But yes, plastic is one that you can definitely use.
Okay. And my other question, so basically, if you want to build your credit back up and everything that's in collections, because I see that trend in TikTok as well, don't pay them, just go ahead and dispute it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Don't pay them, dispute them. And, like if we don't end up working together, check out my ebook or follow me on Instagram, check out that ebook. Guys, it's a $5,000 program. It's right there. It's $497, but the value is there. It's the step-by-step guide on how to do the 5-day sweep. Very valuable information.
Well,
we don't market it.
That.
Yeah, we don't do any marketing, right? The public does not know about that. That's just something that, I'm telling groups like you guys. So.
Got it. All right. Well, I'll do both. I definitely seen the value already. I got the link.
Awesome.
Appreciate you, man.
Yeah, looking forward to talking to you.
Yes, sir. Me too. Thank you.
What's up, Scotty?
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, going good, man. Hey, I've heard all these tales about the Navy Fed business credit card, huge limits. Any insight as to how to get those big limits?
Yeah. Great question. So I want to relate those cards to our program. Were you here when I was showing you the tiers that we kind of go after, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3? Okay, so tier 3, Navy Fed and Penn Fed fits in there. So if you're military, those are some of the first tier 3 banks to go after. Now, they are 0% interest on, like Penn Fed has a great 0% interest for 20 months on balance transfers, right? So again, just like the tier 1 banks, you have to be military or know someone, open up a bank account. There's little hacks in there. It's where it's like, hey, put a checking account in, put $5,000. If you don't have $5,000, just be very active, right? Pay for gas, buy a meal, get back in there, put money in, put money out. All right. So that I'll kind of dive into on how to bank hack on top of that, building relationships with banks. But that's essentially how you go with those credit unions, but we go after those last. We want to go after the big banks first that give the big limits, right? Because those credit unions, they do give big limits. They're typically not 0% interest. And if they are, they're 0% interest on balance transfers, right? But does that answer your question?
Cool.
So
So
the relationship. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. If you want to deep dive into that more, schedule a call. I'm happy to deep dive into that. But I want to kind of follow up on that a little bit about bank hacking, right? When I say establish a relationship with a bank, all right, and try to liquidate $5,000 here, guys, I have like 30 bank accounts, right? That doesn't mean you put $100,000 in 30 bank accounts, guys. We're building and establishing a relationship with Chase Bank first, right? This is why our credit stacking program is in a very specific order, okay? So what we did, my fiance and I, we put all our money into Chase, right? All my businesses, multiple business accounts, and personal. Chase says, holy shit, you're credible. You got 800 credit score, you're liquid, here's your limits. Now what do we do with Bank of America? Do we move all, do we accumulate a hell of a lot more money and then go to Bank of America? No, we move our money from Chase to Bank of America. We repeat that, relationship, right? So that's part of our credit stacking process is, okay, Chase, boom, we're going after here. We've got these cards, spend on here, build that relationship. And in the meantime, we're going after mid-tier banks. Okay, establish your relationships here with credit unions. All right, now it's time to go after tier 1 again. We need to establish our relationship with the US Bank. All right, so take these funds out of here, move it over. Guys, if you guys don't have a lot of funds to build a relationship with a bank and look liquid, we liquidate credit cards. Great question, my man.
What do you mean liquidate credit cards?
Liquidating credit cards means if you have a $50,000 limit, and you want to turn that $50,000 into cash without it being a cash advance, we turn that credit into cash by using a merchant processor. So just turning your credit limits into cash in your bank account.
But that's something we don't know how to do.
I kind of touched over a little bit on how you can do it yourself. You can use companies like Plastic, or if you own multiple businesses.
Oh, that, okay.
Yeah. So that's liquidating credit cards. Just
Okay.
charge yourself something and turns into cash in your other bank account.
Okay, thank you.
Uh-huh.
You're hitting on a lot of things I'm going through right now, so.
Hey,
I'll
I'm here to add value.
Okay, you are, thank you.
Glad I could help.
So can we use this? Is PayPal a good merchant?
Yeah, so PayPal is one of my merchants. I don't liquidate through it because PayPal is pretty stingy. Here's the thing. If you guys don't use PayPal regularly and you want to liquidate $10,000 and you're charging yourself $10,000, PayPal is going to be like, whoa, what's going on here? Right? And they put a hold on money for up to 30 to 90 days because it's kind of suspicious. Like, what's going on? I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Alex Hermosi or read the book $100 Million Offers. So in that book, he talks about when he first started scaling his business, he went from $0 to $300,000 in like 1 week. Right? When you go from $0 to $300,000 in a merchant, they're probably going to throw their hands up and be like, what the hell is going on here? Right? They're going to, investigate, try to see where all this money is coming from. Well, they held Hermosi's money for over 6 months. So he had to run his entire business and operation with no money. He drained his personal savings account and everything like that, because one of these merchant processors was holding his money because he had too much out of nowhere, right? So you don't want that to happen. Obviously, that's a very large scale. You don't want that to happen, but it's happened to me on just charging $5,000, right? So if it's not something that you're doing regularly, don't do it now. What's up, Aaron? You're still muted, boss. There you go.
What about Stripe, Scotty?
Yeah, so Stripe is actually one of the better ones. But again, same method, you know,
Mhm.
if you have a Stripe, I mean, I have a Stripe account, but to be
Yeah.
honest, if I swiped $100,000 right now, they're gonna be, put it on hold, you know?
Mhm.
And even PayPal, you know, if you do 100,000 one month and then, you know, 300,000 the next month, clearly it looks like you're scaling, right? But that's the problem with these merchant processes is they put handcuffs on you, right? You don't have access to your own money. It's like this third party, you know, cop or something, making sure your money's coming from an ethical place or something like that, right? So that's why we partner up with people as liquidating partners, because their merchant processing, they're running 7 figures a month through it. And if we run 100,000, 50,000, 20,000 or anything, it's not going to flag the system and stop it. They have access to those funds immediately, essentially.
Yeah, that makes sense. My other question was, so I have the Amex Gold card and then the Business Inc. card for my business. What other cards do you recommend, or like maybe a line of credit?
Maybe not a line of credit yet. So are those the only 2 business credit cards you have? Which one? You have the Business Inc. What? There's cash, unlimited, and preferred.
I have the unlimited.
Okay, Inc. Unlimited. Great. So that's the one that I have the $80,000 limit on.
Mhm.
It was 0% interest. Do you still have that 0% interest introductory rate, or is that passed?
I believe that passed last year.
Okay. So if I was you, I'd go after 0% interest, especially if you're going to be using a credit card, you know, for your business, right? 0%, guys, it's free money, right? So I'd definitely go after some 0% interest cards. Those cards that I shared earlier in the slide, Umpqua Bank, Citizens Bank. Check those out. They're easy to get approved for. But it's awesome that you have an established relationship with Amex and Chase. The next card I would go after is, are you doing any marketing or anything like that? Paid marketing, Google Ads, Facebook, anything like that?
Yeah, that's what I use a lot of it for. Just kind of business expenses, some paid ads. But I'll go check out for sure the cash one, the Chase Inc.
Do the,
cash one.
do the preferred. Do the preferred, not the
Okay.
cash. The
Okay.
preferred, you're going to get more rewards if if you're doing any marketing. Put it on your preferred
Mhm.
card, and it has you know, more travel benefits in the future.
Heck yeah. Yeah, that's how we went to New York last week with the Chase points.
Oh, great. So check this out, man. Did you book that flight through the portal? The Chase portal?
Yes, yeah, we transferred the points from there.
You did? You
Mhm.
transferred them out of Chase into, or did you book everything within the Chase portal?
No, we booked it through maybe I think it was what company?
Expedia?
Maybe Expedia. I think we transferred it to Expedia.
Okay. So some advice when flying domestically. I
Mhm.
don't use points to fly anywhere in America. Okay. If I'm flying in America, I'm going to pay for it. And I'm going to pay for it using a very specific credit card, right? On the personal, it's the Chase Sapphire Reserve. If I'm using business, I might use the Amex Gold, Amex Platinum, or the Chase Preferred, right? I want to get massive rewards on flying, but I'm going to book that flight, the domestic flights. I'll talk about international next. Domestically, I'm going to, if you have a Chase, you go to your Chase Ultimate Rewards portal, you shop for flights there, and you pay for it using your Chase credit card in the account. Do not use your points, okay? It's going to cost a little bit more booking through the Chase portal, but the rewards are 5 to 10x. So
All right,
the reason
guys.
why we don't, go ahead.
Let me ask everybody a question. I can't keep Scotty here all night.
Hey, I'm rolling. I'm
Did
in
any-
Vegas. It's early.
Did anybody get valued tonight?
Yes.
Heck yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Oh
definitely.
yeah.
Sure.
Okay, let me share something with you, man. Again, I said earlier, I don't bring a lot of people in here. I only bring people in here that can bring massive amount of value. I know Scotty will sit here and just continue to share and give all
I'm gonna go
just
get
give
it.
it all. But you know, he runs a business, guys. It's a very professional business that a lot of high caliber people use. I want to be very I want to be courteous of his time. I want to tell you guys something, man. If you see value in what he's promoting, the service he offers, I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt, anybody you see on TikTok, anybody you see on Instagram, anybody here in San Antonio that what they're doing, Scotty's the guy, man. What I'm gonna do, Scott, I have a 7:30 call I gotta get on, but if you want to stay, if you want to keep going, I'll let it ride. I'll do my call and I'll come back. I don't know how that call might take 10, 15 minutes. Or if you want to do, if you want to set up a subsequent meeting where we can maybe do a Q&A for 30 minutes with everybody, a follow-up. Or if you want to let it ride tonight, I'm good with that. So I'll leave it up to you, Scott.
We still have 37 people on, and it looks like a lot of people are getting value. I see a couple good questions that I'd love to follow up with. But I mean, look, if you guys want to rock, we can go for a few more minutes. And then if you guys want to deep dive into anything, please just schedule a call. So it's up to the audience. Like I said, I'm a go-giver, man. So if I can keep adding value.
Yeah. Once, Scotty, I appreciate you for everything. Hey, listen, I already went and purchased your course, right? What email I need to be looking for? Because ain't nothing came in yet, so I should be expecting it tomorrow. Is it gonna have it's gonna be noticeable? It's gonna have your brand on there.
So it should be automated.
fully-
You should be receiving a text and an email to be able to download everything. And
Oh,
if
wow.
not, my team's right here in this room with
Guys.
me.
Oh,
All of
okay,
you
cool.
guys-
Yeah,
all
I
of you
haven't
guys-
received nothing yet.
Mufasa, Scotty, Mufasa, man, he's always on top of it, man. He's a real deal, man. Guys, all of you guys should be scheduling a call with Scotty. He offers just tremendous all around when it comes to credit. I'm going to invite him to do a subsequent meeting, a Q&A rather, for those folks that are here tonight. But I really think you guys should schedule a meeting with him. You know, a conversation doesn't cost you anything, but what you miss may cost you everything. So with that said, Scott, you want to continue to go, or you guys want to continue to go? I'm going to make my call.
Yeah.
Might take
I have-
about
I have one more thing to add, and I'll go ahead and jump off it. Let's go ahead and schedule. Let's connect. We'll do a follow-up Q&A. I see a question in here about the Apple Card. If you follow me on Instagram, Scotty T, I'm going to share to my story right now how to get the Apple Card without a hard inquiry check. Okay, this is a little credit hack. I'm going to share that to my story right now. So follow me and check that out, and slide up, DM me if you need help. All right, Charles, let's schedule another follow-up. Your group is great. I love all the questions, so I'm here to help.
Hey, guys, all of you guys in Alliance, this is what I need you to do, man. And I ask a lot of you guys to do this, and you don't do it. You know, we pour a lot into you. I would love for all of you guys to go into Alliance, blow that thing up, let people know that they fucked up by not coming today. Go into Instagram, tag Scotty, tag me. Scotty, can you drop your IG inside the chat real quick?
Boom.
Tag Scotty.
That wasn't even me.
Tag Scotty, tag me, tag Michael. Let everybody know that we had an awesome meeting tonight. And I'm gonna invite Scotty back to do a Q&A. Of course, those who missed it are just gonna have to pick up on the Q&A. But if you have his info, give him a call, and we'll set up another meeting. I'm gonna ask Scotty when it's convenient for him. I'll get that to you guys. And I want to thank all of you guys for being such good guests. And man, Scott, what can I tell you, man? Some of the stuff you talked about earlier, dude, I was just like blown away, man.
I appreciate it.
Yep.
Everybody good?
Yeah.
Yes.
Don't
Thank you
forget,
so
I'm gonna
much.
be
It was a great-
I'm gonna be on Instagram in a minute. I'm gonna be watching. I'm gonna be seeing if you
Cool,
guys
cool,
are
cool.
posting.
Hey, how you set up the appointment with you, Scotty? Where's the link at? Can you drop it again? Cause Zach, drop it again?
Yep.
Hey, Scotty, I set up an appointment. I didn't get a confirmation. Will that just come later? Or,
If you schedule the call, you should.
yeah, I scheduled tomorrow for 2. So I
Yeah,
still
you,
haven't
you should be
had that.
getting automated. You should be getting automated follow-ups, letting you know and confirmation. Guys, I'm OCD with my Google Calendar. If I don't call you then, I mean, yeah, I'm already. This is my background on my phone, guys. I'm super organized. I won't
Okay.
miss you guys. Worst case scenario, follow me on Instagram and DM me. Hey, can you send me your link? You know, I'll shoot over mine and Charles' calendar, and we'll get you taken care of.